But we believe in the resurrection of the dead, but that's when you're physically dead. When you stop breathing and your heart stop beating, and that man that you in the ground, that's all she wrote. You are not going anywhere. Your soul isn't going anywhere. Your body isn't going anywhere. Nothing is happening after that. When you're dead, you are done. That's it. You can forget it. Then the says all the way about the resurrection. He says that our people are dead. Negroes are dead. Walking about. You're the one that the book is talking about who is dead. Dead to the knowledge of yourself. Dead to the knowledge of your own people. Dead to the knowledge of your own God. Dead to the knowledge of the devil. And you don't even know who the devil is. You think the devil is someone down inside the ground that's going to burn you after you're dead. Why the devil is drinking on down this earth, and he's giving you hell every day. And you still too dead to hate. We believe in the resurrection of the dead. We believe that the 20 million black people in America in the last days will be taught the truth. The trumpet of truth will sound in your ear. And it's being sounded today, the trumpet of truth. And this truth strikes your ear, strikes your heart. It'll open your eyes. It'll open your ears. It'll make you stand up. It'll do the same thing for you that truth did for the dry bones in the valley. Because the picture of dry bones in the valley is talking about you. The picture of Lazarus laying dead 4 days is talking about you. You are Lazarus. You are the dry bones. You are the prodigal son. You are the lost sheep. You are the people about whom the Bible is speaking who will stand up in the last days when the trumpet is sounded. Black people are waking up. Black people are standing up. Black people are rising up. And they're starting back. We believe we are people of God's choice. That's what we believe. We believe we're the chosen people. We don't believe Jews are the chosen people. We don't believe Jews are the ones going to the promised land. We don't think Jews are a part of God. No, Jews are nothing but another part of that same race of devils that come out of Europe. They didn't even come out of the Holy Land. They come out of the kings of Europe. Furthermore, we believe we are the people of God's choice. As it is written that God would choose the rejected and despised. And we can find no other person fitting this description in these last days more than the so-called Negroes in America. We believe in the resurrection of the righteous. We believe in the judgment. We believe this first judgment will take place as God revealed right here in America. The judgment will take place in America. The resurrection will take place in America. The judgment will take place in America. The separation will take place in America. And the destruction will take place in America. Doom will take place in America. Doomsday will take place right here. This is the place the Bible is talking about. When the Bible mentions Babylon, it means America. When the Bible mentions Sodom and Gomorrah, that's America. When the Bible mentions Egypt, that's America. This is Rome. This is Babylon. This is that wicked kingdom that God is going to come and set fighting to in the last days. And you're living in that day right now. Down the lane.
The right support can bring out the best in you.
Good afternoon. No matter what your point of view may be, there is significant in the growth in Chicago and across the United States, if not around the world, of a movement known as the Black Muslims, a movement which is popularly believed to preach a doctrine of hatred for the white race and the ultimate supremacy of the Negro race. The headquarters of the Muslim movement is here in Chicago in the 5300 block of South Greenwood, and its leader now is known as Elijah Muhammad. He's in residence here. The most active person in the spreading of the Black Muslim movement is Elijah Muhammad's second in command, who calls himself Malcolm X. And Malcolm X is our guest today on City Desk. Across the desk, our panelists this week are NBC newsmen Charles McCune, Floyd Calver, and Len O'Connor. Mr. X, may I begin by asking you, if you will please, outline for us the platform and policies of the Muslim organization. Good afternoon. No matter what your point of view may be, there is significant in the growth in Chicago and across the United States, if not around the world, of a movement known as the Black Muslims, a movement which is popularly believed to preach a doctrine of hatred for the white race and the ultimate supremacy of the Negro race. The headquarters of the Muslim movement is here in Chicago.
A person can go into any of these places of business and he'll have to admit that he is treated with more respect and he finds more dignity there than he will find among the so-called Negroes who profess to be teaching love for everyone.
You've had twice you've referred to the Negroes, the so-called Negroes. You find some fault with this.
Yes. Mr. Muhammad teaches us that Negro is a term that was applied to us during slavery by the slave master. And to break it right today, it's a term that is used only to point out the descendant of slaves. It's never used for black people, period. Africans can come to this country. They aren't called Negroes. And if they are called Negroes, they resent it. So if Negro meant black, as we've been taught, it would be a term that would be applicable to or applicable to everyone. But he says that it is something that means a slave, or something who is, it means something that has been left out of society, politically, economically, educationally, and otherwise.
You don't think of it as an anthropological term?
Definitely. It's not an anthropological term, it's a slave term. And it was a term that was invented in America and was used by the slave makers, slave traders, and slave masters and attached to the property or the chattel or merchandise that our people represented in that particular day.
Mr. O'Connor.
What is your real name?
Malcolm X.
Is that your legal name?
As far as I'm concerned, it's my legal name.
Have you been to court to establish the
I didn't have to go to court to be called Murphy or Jones or Smith. Excuse me for answering you this way.
That's
So
all right.
if a Chinese person were to say his name was Patrick Murphy, you would look at him like he's insane, because Murphy is an Irish name, a European name, or the name that has a Caucasian or white background. And a yellow person, Chinese is a yellow man, and he has nothing to do or no connection whatsoever with the name Murphy. And if it doesn't look proper for a person who is yellow or Chinese to be walking around named Murphy or Jones or Johnson or Bunch or Powell, I think it would be just as improper for a black person or the so-called Negro in this country, as we're taught by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to walk around with these names. And therefore he teaches us that during slavery, the same slave master who owned us put his last name on us to denote that we were his property. So that when you see a Negro today who's named Johnson, if you go back in his history, you'll find that he was once, his grandfather or one of his forefathers was owned by a white man who was named Johnson. His name is Bunch. His grandfather was owned by a white man that was named Bunch.
Would you mind telling me what your father's last name was?
My father didn't know his last name. My father got his last name from his grandfather, and his grandfather got it from his grandfather, who got it from the slave master. The real names of our people were destroyed during slavery.
Was there any line, any point in the genealogy of your family when you did have to use the last name? And if so, what was it?
The last name of my forefathers was taken from them when they were brought to America and made slaves. And then the name of the slave master was given, which we refuse. We reject that name today.
You mean you won't even tell me what your father's supposed last name was or gifted last name was?
I never acknowledge it whatsoever.
Let me ask you about the status of Elijah.
Salakia. What's going on with this? good enough, right? Shalom. Shalom, man.
He's learned about the Byzantine Empire. He's learned about the popes of Rome, that they were black. He's learned many things. I'm going to bring him up. Bring him up. Bring Rocky on up here for a minute. I'm going to let him come up and he can say a few things. Look, we did some research on him also, and we found out that there's a lot of white people in New York and in America that don't like this guy. And they classified him as, what was that name? They said communist. Right. They said that this guy is a communist, that he's in the movie production business and that he's a CIA operative and a whole lot of other BS they said about him. They said a lot of negative things about him and gave us a lot of hate mail to our school on this one white. Can you believe that? Here's white people sending hate mail. Yeah, that's right. Sending hate mail on this guy. Because we showed him on TV one time and they said that he's a communist and an atheist, and they said there's a lot of hate mail. But I'm going to ask him some simple questions. And I'm not hypnotizing him. I'm not the amazing question. I'm not waving a wand. He's not on crack. I don't see any heroin tracks on his feet or his arms or anywhere else on him. But I'm going to ask him a couple of simple questions, and he's going to answer the questions directly without playing a game. According to the Bible, now I'm calling him Rocky fictitiously. Rocky, according to the Bible now, from what you've read, well, maybe his name is Rocky, I don't know. Rocky Stone. Well, he's got a driver's license. CIA can make up driver's license, but I don't know. But we're going to give him that. Or whatever. But anyway, I'm going to give him the credit and say his name is Rocky. According to bibliography and world history and nations that have checked out the world, is the white man the devil? Yes or no?
Yes.
Hold on. Did you hear that? I don't think the audience heard this. I'm gonna how many of you heard that? Raise your hand and say, I can't hear you. Okay, you heard a white man stand there say that. According to the Bible, Mr. Rocky Stone, is the Negro in the United States the biblical Jew? Yes or no?
Fact.
Stop. Did you hear that?
Yes!
I don't think you blacks in the audience heard that, because you know why? You blacks are on an African trip. You think you're black, you think you're an African, you think you're a Muslim, you think you're everything except according to the Bible. There's a scholar in New York by the name of Charles Berlitz that not too long ago did an expedition and an excavation up to the mountains of Aram. And he was allowed to use surface radar by the United States and the Soviet Union and parts of a camera from the space shuttle to film Noah's Ark. Do you know that? You blacks though, what do you know? You blacks, what do you know? You're locked up in jail, you're on drugs. You're in the ghetto, you don't know anything. You're just a bunch of yes boys. But here's an intelligent white man telling you that you are the biblical Jews. I'm going to ask him again. According to the Bible, is the Negro in America? Listen, black man. You're doing a lot of talking, you're not listening. I'm asking the white man now. According to the Bible, is the black man in America the biblical Jew?
Old King James Bible, that's a fact.
The King James Bible is a fact. Okay. The King James Bible is a fact. Plus, King James was a black man. Constantine was black. Richard the Lionhearted was black. During 1492, when Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci was sanctioned by the Roman Catholic Church under the first white popes, being the Borgias family, their forerunner being Calixtus III, up until today, they have been destroying all of the black art and images throughout all of Europe. They painted all the black pictures of Jesus white. Am I right or wrong, Rocky?
That's a fact.
What do you black people got to say? Where's the old Negro preacher at? Where I want him up here. Where's he? The black preacher at? Where's a black preacher that got a big mouth on Sunday morning? Eating a lot of cornbread, drinking Kool-Aid, and picking a guitar and a banjo. Where's your big fat mouth at? Here's a white man telling you you don't know what the hell you're talking about. We didn't drug this guy, and guess what? We like this white guy right here. You know why we like him? Because he tells the truth. And he's not afraid to tell the truth. Amen. To the white race or the black race.
Amen.
Go ahead, you had something else to say.
I'm not talking off the top of my head. I own 50 different Bible dictionaries.
Checked out 15 different Bible...
50.
50, I'm sorry. 50.
I'm not talking
50
off the top of my
different
head.
Bible dictionaries, Shaw. Go ahead.
All right? Also 20 Bible encyclopedias.
Bible is 20
I'm not
Bible
talking off the top of my
encyclopedias.
head. If you want to research it, you're going to find the facts.
Are we telling the truth here on this corner, Rocky?
Amen.
This brother said amen. He said we're speaking the truth here. Are we just a bunch of dumb Negroes on the corner, or do we have facts?
Facts.
We have facts. Was this picture painted in 1492, or was it not? Hold the picture up. Give me a brother over here. Here's a white guy. Wait a minute. Rocky, I see a very disturbing look on this guy's face. Here's a young white man, a little overweight. I don't know how much he weighs. Maybe 210 pounds, 205. He looks a little disturbing, a little upset. He had a Negro standing by him just walking across now. He whispered something to him. I don't know what he said, huh? But anyway, here's a white guy that's looking like, is this guy on drugs? You know, doesn't he see these guys are, they're racists? What's going on here? Here's my own white flesh speaking against me. What do you got to say to him?
I don't even talk to white people that don't acknowledge they come from Esau. They're not on first base.
He's murdered.
Alright, so Alright, we go ahead and kick this off, get it started, give all honor, praise, and glory to the Heavenly Father, in the name of His Son, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Wahakadash Shakak, Wada Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, for the Holy Spirit, which allowed us to get on here and do this live council. Hopefully something that can be edifying, exhorting, and admonishing into the flock, the sheep of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, double honors to the apostles and the elders at the great millstone of Israel, and double honors to all the hopefully elect elders, apostles, true teachers, true prophets, those that aided in His ministry in truth and sincerity, across the globe, slated to be saved and hoping to be saved, which would be none other than the elect and 1/3 of the Israelite race, according to the Holy Bible, which are these so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, West Indians, Seminole Indians, so-called Afro people that have repented and are back in on the true reality, the truth of the matter, the reality of the matter, and that's who you are. That's the Hebrew Israelite who our Heavenly Father is. That's Yahweh, who people call God, and in the name of His Son, people call Jesus Christ Yahweh Shai. Now awaiting what they've been had in store for us. All right. So Shalom. So tonight's live council, as you can see, is what only so-called blacks type of only so-called blacks and whites always knew what was on the line. Only so-called blacks and whites always knew what was on the line, and what was on the line being what? Power, rule, and ultimately being chosen. You see this in the history, and it goes even further back. You see what I'm saying? Like in every dynamic you want to look at, whether it was rich or poor, whether it was black or white, hell, you're gonna really see the reality of the matter, which is really Esau and Jacob. You know what I'm saying? It only comes down to these people always knowing, these being the people that always know. The so-called white man and so-called black man, including so-called Latinos and Native American Indians. These being the people, according to the scriptures, to always know. So we kick it off just in the first dynamic, or instance, or I don't even the word I want to use. The first, well, you can say dynamic, but like structure, so-called Proverbs 29:13. Because obviously so-called black race, including so-called Latinos, Native American Indians, and West Indians, y'all all so-called black people too, but y'all are Jacob, and then the so-called white race is Esau. All right, well, go ahead.
This is Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 13. The poor and the poor.
Yep.
And the deceitful man meet together.
Yep, the poor and the deceitful man. See? So that'll tell you right there. It come the Bible it come down to two things. You see what I'm saying? The poor and the deceitful man. You see what I'm saying? Read that one time, bro.
Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 13. The poor and the deceitful man meet together.
Yeah, it don't come down to nothing in between. You see what I'm saying? It's like left and right. You see what I'm saying? Matter of fact, get that in the apocrypha real quick, Uncle Shah. Just to get to the nitty gritty. Jeremiah Sirach, I want to say 40, 41, and 25. It's like it actually get started, it's actually 33 and 14.
Sirach chapter 33 verse 14. Good is set against evil.
See, that's, you know, and who set that up? Go ahead.
And life against death.
See, it come down to two. It always come down to two elements. That's why you got two hands, two eyes, two nostrils. You know what I'm saying? Two lips, two ears. Go ahead.
All right. It says good is set against evil.
Meaning two forces. You know. Go ahead.
And life against death.
Go ahead.
So is the godly.
So that's what that. So is the who?
So is the godly.
Right.
Against the sinner.
See, now when you jump back to Proverbs 29 and 13, it started off the way it started off for a reason. Go ahead.
Proverbs 29 and 13. The poor.
The who?
The poor.
See, that's the godly. Go ahead.
And the deceitful man.
That's right. That's who? That's what did it say? The sinner, man. You see that? Go ahead.
Meet together.
That's it. Because that's how the Lord set it up. You can jump back.
Sirach chapter 33 and verse 14.
So we canceling out 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You know what I'm saying? It's 2. Go ahead.
Verse 14, it says, good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly.
Yeah, and they're against each other, you know, because they represent polar opposites, man. Go ahead, 2 ends of the spectrum. Go ahead.
It says, so look upon all the works of the Most High.
How many?
All the works of the Most High.
He said, do what?
Look upon.
Yeah, look, man. You see what I'm saying? You can look at so-called black people, so-called white people. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
So look upon all the works of the Most High.
And those will be works of his. Go ahead.
And there are 2.
How many?
Are 2.
No 3.
Are 2.
No 5.
Are 2.
Go ahead.
And 2.
See? It just come down to 2. Go ahead.
One against another.
One against another. That's why you got the dynamic of black versus so-called white for so long. You know what I'm saying? Because that's other works of the Lord. That's what it came down to. You see what I'm saying? Now, it was actually just cloaked due to the potter's clay, which you can go ahead and jump to Isaiah 20. Matter of fact, jump to, stay where you at and jump to Salakia. Jump to verse 13. And then we can jump there.
Ecclesiasticus or Sirach chapter 33 and verse 13.
Watch this.
As the clay.
As the what?
As the clay.
That's right.
Is in the potter's hand.
Yep, it's in the potter's hand. The clay will be the work to create what's getting ready, what's molded into a creation. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
To fashion it
in the potter's hand, the potter being the Most High, right? Go ahead.
To fashion it at his pleasure.
To fashion it at his pleasure. You know, you got you know what I'm saying, when you got a pile of Play-Doh, you got a jar. You see what I'm saying? And you can pull out of that lump. You see what I'm saying? That's what you're pulling out of to make whatever you want. That's basically what it is, man. It's just this clay. And then you just make whatever you want out of that clay. You know, and you can make that clay into what you want. So the clay could have came with color. You see what I'm saying? But you could take that clay and leave one. You could make a ball and leave one as the color it came as. You could make another ball and you could fucking dye the color or something. You see what I'm saying? If you wanted to, because the clay not alive. You see what I'm saying? It's to be molded by somebody. You know, you got it one time. And that's what you see with the so-called black, so-called white. You see what I'm saying? Because they came out of the lump, man. You know, but go ahead.
As the clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it at his pleasure.
See, at his pleasure. You know, go ahead. It's exactly how he wanted it to be. You know, he will make it come down to two major things. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
So man is in the hand of him that made him.
And you know that's true because when you think about a race, you got first and second. Nobody really considers third. That's ain't that the same?
Yeah.
What is it? One. Well, how it go? It say first.
One is second's not a three nobody remembers.
Yeah.
Two is not a winner. Three nobody remembers.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah. One is a winner. Two is not a winner, and three nobody remembers or something. Exactly, man. See that? Because that goes back to the concept of the creator, man. You see what I'm saying? So what I was going on to say was and then they got in that movie, what is that? Talladega Nights.
Right.
He said, yeah.
If you ain't first, you last.
Yeah, if you ain't first, you last. You see that? And I was using that example to say what? It come down to second. You see what I'm saying? Like it's 1-2. You know? 1-2. And you see that dynamic goes back. All that go back to the creation of Yahweh, which is Esau and Jacob, man. The last shall be the first. Mm-hmm. The first shall be the last. The elder shall come out and serve the younger. It was twins in her womb. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying?
Two nations.
Yeah, two nations of people. They shall be separated. You know, he made them how he wanted to make them, man. You know? So now, you should see why it's been this play on black, so-called black versus white for so long. Did you finish the verse?
A little bit more.
You got it.
It says, so man is in the hand of him that made him to render to them as liketh him best.
Yeah, that's it?
That's it.
You can jump to 29 and 11, Isaiah. You know? Because now what did it come down to? Because really, you know, you should see now, okay, black versus white. There's no black versus white versus red versus pink. You know what I'm saying? They come down to two, man. You think about, you know, the yin and yang. You see what I'm saying? You think about all that, man. You know? Thus just using this to build, you know, up the point that it only comes down to two. You know, and it always only came down to two according to the scriptures. You see, 29 and 16. Yep.
God. Isaiah chapter 29 and 16, it says, surely you're turning of things upside down.
Who?
Surely you're turning of things upside down.
See, because that's really what happened. Because really, so-called black versus white, so-called white go back to Esau and Jacob. All right? As we know, but go ahead. But that's just for those that may not know. Come on.
Surely your turning of things upside down shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. For shall the work say of him that made it, he made me not?
Yeah, so the Lord made this particular, he made Esau to be the wicked. You see, matter of fact, let's go ahead and just jump straight into this. To show, you know, so now we done built the premise for it only coming down to two. It ain't come down to nothing else. Look upon all the works of the Lord, and you shall see. There's two. Matter of fact, read that verse one more time, bro. Sirach 33 and 14.
Sirach chapter 33 and verse 14. It says, good is set against evil.
See, that's what the Lord made it come down to, man. Go ahead.
And life against death.
Yeah, life against death. Good will be life. You see what I'm saying? Death will be, you know, evil. You know, go ahead.
So is the godly against the sinner.
See, good, life, and godly. Evil, death, and sin. Sinner. Go ahead.
And the sinner against the godly.
Yep. And they will be against each other. That's what the Lord set it up for, man. Because it say the Lord is a man of war. You know what I'm saying?
God.
He mustered the host of the battle. The Lord like battles, man. You know, and to have a battle, you got to have opposing forces. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
God.
Thus time his whole concept of him being a man of war. You see? Go ahead.
Verse 15.
Yep.
So look upon all the works of the Most High.
Yep.
And there are two and two, one against another.
Even when you come down to the concept of night and day, you got some people that like day better than night. That's a battle. You know what I'm saying? Well, I think night better. I think, you know, all his works battle each other. You see what I'm saying? All of them, man. Some people like, you know, rain. Some people like, you know, the desert.
morning versus even.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's middle in between. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you got day and night. You know what I'm saying? Because it come down to 1 or 2. But then you would say that, and now that eliminates, the whole premise we done built. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, going back to the point, it only comes down to 2 now. All right? You finished that? So look upon verse 15.
Yep, that's it.
You finished it?
Yep.
Okay, God. So let's go ahead and jump to Genesis 25. Because you said you should be able to see that with all his works. And the scriptures tell you that. It says some man esteem one day better than another. You see what I'm saying? So Genesis 25. 25, you can start at 21.
God. It's Genesis chapter 25 and verse 21. It says, and Isaac entreated the Lord for his wife, because she was barren. And the Lord was entreated of him, and Rebekah his wife conceived.
Yep.
And the children struggled together within her. And she said,
yeah, and the children, come on. So she conceived, she went from having none to some. Now this is heavy right here. This is going to show, you see what I'm saying? This is the chosen man that the Lord is dealing with, the Creator is dealing with. He said all his works are 2 and 2. You see what I'm saying? So she's going to go from being barren to conceiving, which would be not having no children, to if you can read that part again, to what?
God.
That's the last verse you read.
Right, and the children struggled together.
And the what?
And the children.
See, so she went from not having none to some. You see, now we're gonna find out, Lord, if we got the concept of the Lord right, man. Go ahead.
And the children struggled together within her,
which will be according to the scriptures. Let's see if the scriptures stay sound. Come on.
And she said, "If it be so, why am I thus?"
Yeah, because you wouldn't have figured you would go from barren to having multiple kids. You see what I'm saying? In one city. And then it's so heavy because it's not even a normal pregnancy. You see what I'm saying? Why? Because you literally having the concept of the Lord play out in your womb, man. You see what I'm saying? Because you're gonna find out this is 2 children, and you're gonna also find out the Lord meant what he said when he said, "Look upon the works of the Lord. There are 2 against 2. You see what I'm saying? And you're gonna see what play out? That he's a man of war. That's what she was feeling. All his works are against each other. See, so she said, matter of fact, read that part one more time, bro.
God. And the children struggled together within her.
Yep.
And she said,
so she went from none to some. We're going to find exactly how many. Go ahead.
And she said, "If it be so, why am I thus?"
Yeah. What the hell is going on? If you could jump back real quick to that Sirach.
Sirach chapter 33 and verse 14.
15.
It says, "So look upon all the works of the Most High. And there are 2."
Because obviously he controlled life, as he said. That's why Isaac went to the Most High. You see what I'm saying? A prophet, and then he was entreated of him. She conceived, because he bring life. So that's the work of the Lord right there. You see that? Go ahead. Inside her, come on.
And there are 2 and 2.
You see? So look upon all the works of the Lord, and what?
So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are 2 and 2.
Yeah, and there are 2 and 2. 2 and 2 and 2 and 2. 2s, come on.
One against another.
See? One against another. Come on. And that's true because, man, you can keep going. The concept just stays consistent, man. It comes down to 2 all the time.
That's it.
You can jump back.
God. Genesis chapter 25 and verse 20.
The same verse.
22. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, "If it be so, why am I thus?"
Because they're one against another.
God.
So there will have to be 2. That's lining up. But how many? Go ahead. It's in her.
And she went to inquire of the Lord. And the Lord said unto her, 2 nations.
See? 2 nations are in your womb, man. Go ahead.
Are in thy womb.
Yep.
And 2 manner.
Yeah, the works of the Lord. Come on.
And 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels.
Yeah, because that was the works of the Lord. I put my work in you. It's going to be two, and they're going to be against each other. See that? So it only comes down to two, man. Now, who are these two people? Go ahead.
And the one people shall be stronger than the other people.
And he said they will be separated because the works of the Lord are polar opposites. You see what I'm saying? Well, you got one big foot, one little foot. One big titty, one little titty. You know what I'm saying? One strong leg, one weaker leg. You see? That's how it is. You know what I'm saying? Even what you writing, there ain't that many people ambidextrous, man. You see what I'm saying? And then even then, they probably got a preference. Which one would you prefer to write with? You got it.
And the elder shall serve the younger.
Yep. Go ahead.
And when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb.
They were twins. Yep. Meaning, go ahead, man. They have the same thing, but see, when you have twins, it's the seed splits, as he said. So he basically played that. He told her that. That's the science of it right there. That's in the scriptures. You know, when you get twins, it's one seed, but it splits. But that's what he said in the previous verse. He said they will be separated. You see what I'm saying? That's what happened. True science, man. You got it.
God.
Not trying to be deep, it's just, it's there, so I'm going to speak on it. Go ahead, bro.
God, and it says in the first came out red.
Yep, and the first came out red. Come on.
All over like a hairy garment.
And he's the first, so that's one. Come on.
And they call his name Esau.
Uh-huh. Now, he came out red all over. Now, you look at so-called white people, everybody knows that's the so-called white man. All right? He's red. Go ahead. He's Esau. Come on.
And after that came his brother out.
Yeah, the second. So that's two. You see that? Go ahead.
And his hand took hold on Esau's heel.
Yep. Representing what? A fight, man. A struggle. Showing you actually right there, because we're going to come back there, they understood at that moment what was on the line, man. You see what I'm saying? Jake understood that, because that's who came out second. Go ahead.
And his name was called Jacob.
See? And he's called, and when you go into that word Jacob, it's Jaquab in the Hebrew, and it means heel holder, man. You see what I'm saying? Supplanter. All right? So that's that. So let's jump to what they represented. So that's why they was against each other, man. They was fighting in the womb. They would be separated. You know, they was twins, meaning they would come over the same lump. You see what I'm saying? But the Lord would, and then they're twins. So he didn't say triplets. Twins is twos, see? Twins, two. See that? So off bat, if that was clearly the work of the Lord, they would have to be against each other. And one of them would have to be good, and one of them would have to be evil. See that? And then you go back to the 13th verse, if you can read that one more time, then we're going to go to Romans 9 real quick.
God.
Yep.
Ecclesiastes chapter 33 verse 13.
Yep.
As the clay.
And then you also going to see when Jacob get older, he knows what's on the line. Esau knows what's on the line. Because why? When they get older, they get a little bit older, they start talking about the birthright. See that? So they knew then, it was innate. Go ahead. Now, who is these people called today? Esau and Jacob. Black and so-called white, man. You see that? So-called black and so-called white. Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 33 verse 13.
Now the reason why I was switched from being that because the so-called white man, who was of that lump, he was formed to be the wicked. And he turned everything upside down. You see that? But go ahead.
As the clay is in the potter's hands,
see,
to fashion it at his pleasure.
Yep.
So is man.
Yep. And those was men. Come on.
So man is in the hand of him that made him.
So he took one lump and he made two children. He made twins, but he automatically got twins. Automatically. You see what I'm saying? Because they are the same lump, if you will.
Okay.
But not going too far. Go ahead.
To render to them as liketh him best.
Yep. Go ahead. And see, to render to them as liketh him best. Whatever he like, whoever he like, that's what he gonna pick. Right. That's how he gonna make it, etc. Go ahead.
Good is set against evil,
Uh-huh.
and life against death.
Yep.
So is the godly
Uh-huh.
against the sinner,
Yep.
and the sinner against the godly.
Go ahead.
So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two, one against another.
See, that was it. You know, twos is twins. See that? So let's go to Romans 9 real quick. Let's start at 11.
This Romans chapter 9 and verse 11. It says, for the children, being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil.
Matter of fact, hold that and jump back real quick. Let's jump to the birthright. Yep. When Jake took the birthright. You know, now how would they be talking about a birthright? Because it was in they always knew what was on the line. You know, they knew what they represented. You know what I'm saying? They was the lead force of the force. You see what I'm saying? The forces the Lord will put down. They are the faces of Jacob and Esau represents the face of the forces of the Lord's whole concept. You see what I'm saying? So they would have to know, man. They're literally the epitome of good and evil, man. It don't come down to nobody else. It's not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's not even 1, 2, 3. It's 1, 2. It has always been 1, 2. So that's why you see that today with so-called blacks, Latinos, so-called blacks, and so-called whites. They always knew what was on the line, man. You see what I'm saying? These are the people that always knew, you see, what was on the line. And we're going to get into what that was, what that is and was, which was power, rule, and being chosen, man. You see that? You got it, bro.
Genesis chapter 25 and 29. And Jacob sowed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint.
Matter of fact, start at 27.
Verse 27. And the boys grew.
Yep, and the boys grew. Come on.
And Esau was a cunning hunter.
So they grew up. Come on.
A man of the field.
So they start coming into who they are. You see what I'm saying? Start being what they was made to be. Come on.
Man. And Jacob was a plain man, dwelling in tents.
See? That's it, man. So it's that simple. All right? So you can go to verse 29.
Verse 29. And Jacob sowed pottage, and Esau came up.
So one day Jake was siding pots. He was cooking, right? In the midst of cooking something. Go ahead.
And Esau came from...
Which makes so much sense because, you know, so-called black people said to have the best food. You know what I'm saying? Always cooking. That's that soul food. You see? Now, something interesting about this because when he was cooking, Jake wasn't done cooking. And Esau wanted it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Because Esau don't know good cooking. You know what I'm saying? Right. This nigga took some undone food, man. Okay. We don't do that. We season everything. See that? This literally show you this is our book, man. Why is it talking about? Why they mention this? This is the inception of the so-called black race, man. You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, and we're gonna show you so-called black people too by the end of this lesson, Lord willing. But this is the inception of so-called blacks versus and so-called whites. So wouldn't it encompass everything in essence, who we are? You know what I'm saying, or who we are in essence? Wouldn't this have to encompass that? So you go to Jake. It say Jake to be plain. You see Jake to chill in tents. You know. And really on a further level, the plane going into being perfect, complete, lacking nothing, handsome, you know, which is the meaning for the word tham, slaki, which is the meaning for the Hebrew word for plane in the Hebrew, which is tham. And then you go a little bit further into Jake. Jake also said to what? To cook. You see what I'm saying? Right. Oh, slak, before we jump there, they say he dwelled in tents. So yeah, he chilling in the crib and all that. But on a further level, that's actually talking about worshiping the Lord. Because that tent going to what? The tabernacle, man. You see that? So so-called black people always in so-called church. See that? There you can't make it up. Now you move on to Jake, Slaki, Esau. You got what? A man that came out red and being a man in the field. They always out hunting, you know what I'm saying? Hiking, you know what I'm saying? Just in the wild. You know what I'm saying? And then, what? See what else we got on him. You know, he was cunning. He was cunning. That's why I said thou art wiser than Daniel. They can make the duck mating calls and all type of stuff, man. Exactly. He's a very, Esau got a real, his mind is like, you know, it's crazy. He like damn Jigsaw or somebody. They always been like that. They always getting into everything.
The field goes into the world, you know. He was worldly.
Yeah, kind of. He's a worldly ass person, man. You know, really carnal. You know what I'm saying? And then but you got moving on. You got Jake going on to do what? Cook. You can read that.
Genesis 25 and 29. And Jacob side pottage.
So the essence of Jake, the so-called blacks, is also what? Because we just touched on the essence of so-called whites, blacks. And that's us, right? You so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. That's so-called whites. You see what I'm saying, right? Now on a further level, we'll give it to us even more. Say Jake. You say who?
And Jacob side pottage.
No, Esau.
And Jacob side pottage.
Yeah, soul food, man. You see that? As they say. Go ahead.
And Esau came from the field.
And Esau's outside. He ain't in, you know, Jake in the crib cooking. You see that? And you know that's just not an Esau soul, because who made fast food restaurants? Nigga ain't never been about cooking, man. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bro.
And Esau came from the field.
He came from the field. Go ahead.
And he was fainting.
Thinking he was a duck or something. You know, out all day, about to pass out. Honey, let's order some, you know. She wanted something quick. And that show you that right there.
Exactly.
Going into it. You know? Because fast food is what? It's bullshit. You know? It's food that ain't on point. You know what I'm saying? It ain't right. Go ahead, man.
It says that Esau came from the field and he was faint.
Yeah.
And Esau said to Jacob.
Yep. And every time you see Esau, these so-called white people just roaming about outside, they drunk, about to pass out. You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
Go ahead.
It says, and Esau said to Jacob, feed me. Mm-hmm. I pray thee.
Yeah, they come up to you. You's a boy. You gotta.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Out of his wits. Go ahead. At his wits end. Go ahead.
Feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage.
You see, he want to eat that now. He said, no, I want that now. He said with that same red pottage. And that red pottage was raw meat, man. It was uncooked. Yeah, it was lentils, but it had meat in it. Jake eat meat, man. If you could jump there real quick to Hebrews 12 and 16. You know? So yeah, it was soup, but it had meat in it. And that's what was uncooked. So when brothers bring it out, that's true. They say it right here. Go ahead.
Hebrews chapter 12, verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat.
Of what?
For one morsel of meat.
See? But you just thought it was soup. Now it say red pottage. You see what I'm saying? But you really go here and say meat.
Exactly.
So it was red meat with the pottage, man.
Exactly.
The shit just wasn't done, wasn't ready. You know? And the brother all wrong, he had brought this out. You know, because it's sitting right in people's face. You know, and you would just glance over it. It was meat. It said it right there, man. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
For one morsel of meat. So
you got to jump back. So there you go. So who do that, man? So-called white people, they want red, we call black. The two that it came down to regarding the chosen man, kids, was a race, because it say two nations, right? One child represented one race, the other child represented another race. So a race named Esau, who went on to be known as Edom, right? And a race named Jacob, who went on to be Israel, you know? But today, they're known as so-called blacks, and then that's two. And today they're known as so-called black, or so-called white, and so-called black. See that? Go ahead, bro.
This is Genesis 25 and verse 30. And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom.
See? And then, because he was red, because he said, I'm faint. When so-called white people get tired, they get hot, they start doing what? They start turning red. Because when you go into Edom, Edom means red. See that? You gotta read that one more time.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Genesis chapter 25 and 31.
That's a so-called white man. Go ahead.
It's like verse 30.
Yep.
And Esau said to Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage.
He said, I want fast food. He said, honey, just call. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
For I am faint. Therefore was his name called Edom.
See? His name was called Edom because he started fainting. You know what I'm saying? He started turning red. You know, he was getting weary. And when they get weary and faint, they start turning red. That's what that means. His name was called Edom because he was faint. Edom means red. So his name was called red because he was fainting. Because when he would faint, he would turn red. Just like they do now. See that? That's it?
Con.
All right, Con. We can jump to Slocky. So, matter of fact, keep going.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the verse.
No, my bad.
More, yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright.
Yeah, man. Because Jacob also means supplanter. You know? Go ahead. He said, sell me what?
Sell me this day thy birthright.
So we down to the two people the Lord said it's only about. The whole book is only encompassing, the Lord's movie is really about Esau and Jacob. Jacob, the star player, and Esau, the star villain. You see what I'm saying? Like Batman and Joker. So when they was children, they was being, you know, we done proved to you that this is so-called black people, so the inception of so-called black people, including so-called Latino, Native American, Indian people, and so-called white people. You know what I'm saying? And we just proved that, right? Now, we were showing you that it came down to two. It only comes down to two. And now you're going to see that these two always knew what was on the line. Because they are the face of the whole concept of the Lord. They are the face of the two forces the Lord put down here. They literally are the face. You see what I'm saying? They always knew. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
God.
Slide.
It says, and Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die.
Yep. It's a lock. I ain't even got the damn money. Slide. Go ahead, bro.
God.
My bad.
And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die.
He said he's going to pass out. Go ahead.
And what profit shall this birthright do to me?
He said, no, read it one more time. He said, sell me. You take from top.
God, verse 31. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright.
See? So Jake thinking about the birthright because he knew what was on the line. You see? If we could post that word, birthright. Let me see. I'll pull it up real quick. Hey, bear with me just a moment. Let's get that word. Let's get that. What verse you in?
25 and 31.
All right, Con. So let's go into this real quick. So they always knew it was on the line, you know. They always knew. Jake had a clue. He started talking about this birthright. So here we go right here. Genesis 25 and 31. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. What's the birthright? Going to that word birthright, you got Bak, Wara. Bakara. Anyway, it say what? Right of the firstborn. You see? Primogeniture. Okay. Let's get the Hebrew Chaldee lexicon. It says what? The right of primogeniture. So let's get that word primogeniture real quick.
Primogeniture.
Primogeniture. Anyway, it says what? The right of succession belonging to the firstborn child. You see? So who was Isaac at that time? Isaac was the chosen man. You see what I'm saying? He was the chosen man. So pretty much all the who will go on and represent that will usually go to whoever got the birthright, which is usually the firstborn son. You see, but the Lord, he created, he made this, these was his works. So he set the situation up how he wanted it, which is Esau not getting it because of what Esau represented. You know, he molded him to be wicked, man, which we're going to get in Romans, the 9th chapter. But anyway, so primogeniture is the right of succession belonging to the firstborn child, especially the feudal rule by which the whole real estate of an intestate passed on, it's like it passed to the eldest son. So he wants everything that the Lord will give Isaac, which he promised Isaac, which he promised to Abraham, was goddamn everything, man. You know? And let me get the word right here real quick.
Intestate.
Intestate, meaning not having made a will before one died. So that would just kill it. Because you would just go to the firstborn. You see what I'm saying? But he wouldn't be seen as the firstborn. Because why? He would sell the birthright. So that would actually put, you basically got Jake looking like he the firstborn now. That's why the scripture said, he that is first shall be last, and the last shall be first. See that? So when he got that birthright, Jake became the first, which makes sense because it go all the way back to Adam. You see what I'm saying? And the chosen Adam, you know? So that primogeniture is pretty much just receiving everything, the whole estate, man. You know, that's spiritual and physical. So that's what was on the line, and Jake understood that. You can bring that out again, bro.
God, this is Genesis chapter 25 and verse 31. And Jacob said, "Sell me this day thy birthright."
See, he knew it was on the line. That's what he was thinking about. Go ahead.
And Esau said, "Behold, I am at the point to die.
Mm-hmm.
And what profit shall this birthright do to me?"
See, he said, "What?
And what profit
Stupid. Go ahead.
shall this birthright do to me?
He knew it was on the line, but he didn't really consider it.
Right.
If you could jump to Sirach 11 real quick. Sirach 11, right? Because this is where he went wrong at. He said, "What profit shall this birthright do to me?" Slakia. Yeah, Sirach 11 and start at 22.
Go ahead. Sirach chapter 11 and verse 22.
Mm-hmm.
The blessing of the Lord.
The what?
The blessing
of
the Lord.
Come on.
Is in the reward of the godly.
So whoever is made the godly gets the reward. Go ahead.
And suddenly he maketh his blessing to flourish.
Come on.
Say not what profit.
Say what?
Say not.
Who said this? Come on.
What profit is there of my service?
What?
What profit is there of my service?
That's what the birthright entailed. The birthright entailed, you see what I'm saying? Him serving the Lord. Because it tell you that in Romans, the 9th chapter, you know, which I'll get real quick. This is Romans 9. I'll just quote it. It say, I'm here now. This is Romans 9 and 4. Who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of God and the promises. You see, whose are the fathers. You see that? And as whom of concerning the flesh, Hamashiach came, who was over all. You see that? Blessed forever. Amen. It's like God blessed forever. Amen. You see that? So that's that, man. So he said the wrong thing, man. He said, what? You got it again, bro.
Genesis chapter 25 and 31.
Mm-hmm.
And Jacob said, "Sell me this day thy birthright."
Mm-hmm.
And Esau said, "Behold, I am at this point."
He said, "I am at the what?"
I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me?
Yep. You can jump back.
Con. Sirach chapter 11 and verse 20.
Straight to the point.
23. It says, say not, what profit,
Say not, come on.
what profit is there of my service?
Say not what profit is there of my service, me having the birthright. See that? Goofy. Because what that entailed, the serving of the Lord, and told you getting the promises, everything. That's what that birthright represented. So he knew he wasn't built for it, man. He just wasn't cut out for it, but he always knew about it, man. Go ahead. And then it's going to tell you that basically he realized it later.
Exactly.
And he went on to hate Jake, man.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, for it. And it's to this day. But guess what? The whole point being it only came down to these two knowing. See that? Jake truly understanding, but Esau understanding when it's too late, basically realizing. Go ahead.
And what good things shall I have hereafter?
See, what?
What good things?
He said, what good things? That's crazy. Go ahead.
It says again, say
He
not.
said, no, one time, he said, what good things?
And what good things shall I have hereafter?
See, there it is. That's it. So, and you can really, yeah, I guess you getting everything, man. You know? Man, go ahead. You go ahead and get it. You go ahead and get that next verse.
Verse 24, it says again, say not, I have enough,
Yep.
and possess many things.
Man, go ahead.
And what evil can come to me the hereafter?
If you only knew that whoever had a birthright, you see what I'm saying? Really, yeah. If you only knew, you know, that whoever had the birthright will go on and enslave all the other races, which is that rulership. You see what I'm saying? Because the Lord did what? Through the law, which is the servant of the Lord, right? He said in the same law, matter of fact, go ahead and get that real quick. Leviticus 25, probably start at 1 real quick. No, matter of fact, you just jump straight to the point. 43, I think you started. Leviticus 25 and 43. You know, he said, what evil? If you only knew through the serving of the Lord, you know, that having that birthright, which was entail the serving of the Lord, which will be only be able to be possible by you having the law. If you only knew in that same serving, you will be, you know, put in position to rule over all the nations, man. Period. All the races. Go ahead.
Leviticus chapter 25 and verse Leviticus 25 and 43.
Yeah, you start there.
It says, thou shalt not rule over him with rigor,
Come on.
but shalt fear thy God. Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids.
Matter of fact, you could jump up to the previous verse. 42.
Verse 42, it says, for they are my servants,
You see?
which I brought forth out of the land.
Going into that service. That's what the Israelites went on and became due to what? Jacob procuring that birthright. You know what I'm saying? The so-called black man procuring that birthright, man. We will go on and serve the Lord. Now, in the serving of the Lord, go ahead.
I brought Salah. It says, they shall not be sold as bondmen.
Who?
They.
Yeah, in the serving of the Lord, but you serving the Lord, you can't be sold as a bondman. You see what I'm saying? Not in actuality, because it do tell you in Jeremiah the 2nd chapter, is Israel a homeborn slave? Right. Why is he spoiled? Because see, that's the perfect scripture for somebody that would, at that moment, ask that question. You know what I'm saying? Well, why did you guys get sold there? Well, because in the clause, in the contract, in the law, we had an oath to where if we wouldn't serve the Lord, which would have to be resulting in us serving other things like everybody else, we would be made like everybody else. You see what I'm saying? But even worse, because the Lord, he got a sense of humor, worse than everybody else. Because everything Jake do, they're going to dominate it. You see what I'm saying? Because they were made to be above all people. So it makes sense for us to be at the very bottom.
Right.
Even though we being like everybody else. But really, we going harder.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if you ain't first, you last. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Because Jake, either you're going to be literally in the position of who you are, completely opposite of who you are, which is like the brother saying, completely at the bottom. You know? So yeah, that's a beautiful point. You got it.
God. It says, for they, this is all Leviticus 25, verse 42. For they are my servants, which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt. They shall not be sold as bondmen.
Yep. So with that birthright, which entails the getting of this is the, we reading about the birthright right here. You're not made to be a bondman. Come on.
Thou shalt not rule over him with rigor, but shalt fear.
No Israelite, due to the progenitor so-called black race, no Israelite, no so-called Latino, black, Latino, Native American Indian could ever really be a bondman. Where they would not, you want to create, because due to him procuring that birthright, man. And in the birthright, this is what it consisted of. And this is what the fuck the so-called white man went on to realize, and he realized it even more. You see what I'm saying? And they don't want us to know that we're not supposed to be bondmen. You see what I'm saying? They don't want us, which clearly is, you can see with them not wanting us to know, who we are, and above all people in actuality. You see what I'm saying? So you clearly don't want us to know, so-called white man don't want us to know this, because he knows on the line, man. Because once we know this, it going to tell you the rest. So he said, he didn't say you can't have bondmen. He said the Israelites can't be bondmen. The so-called black people can't be bondmen, man. Go ahead.
It says, thou shalt not rule over him with rigor, but shalt fear thy God.
Yep, come on.
Both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids.
Bondwomen and bondmen, come on.
Which thou shalt have.
Which you shouldn't have.
Which thou shalt have.
What you gonna think about.
Shall be of the heathen.
No, what you gonna think about, you gonna consider. You gotta literally hear that, man.
Which thou shalt have.
You see? Not considered. Nah, I might have some slaves. No, you gonna have slaves, man. That's what's in the birthright, man. Go ahead.
It says, which thou shalt have,
man,
shall be of the heathen that are round about you.
Everybody else that ain't got that birthright, man. You see what I'm saying? They ain't got that blessing. That birthright allowed us to go on and be the Lord's people. You see what I'm saying? Which we always work, because we're going to go a little bit further back into this to show that. But go ahead.
It says, shall be of the heathen that are round about you.
Come on.
Of them shall ye buy bondmen and bondmaids.
See? So this nigga said, let me jump to it. We just jump back. This is Genesis 25 and 31. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright, thy birthright. And Esau said, behold, I am at the point to die. I am at the point to die. And what profit shall this birthright do to me? You see that? Sirach 11 and 23. It says, I'm going to start at 22. The blessing of the Lord is in the reward of the godly, and suddenly he maketh his blessing to flourish. Say not, what profit is there of my service, and what good thing shall I have hereafter? See it? But they both was new, but Jake really understood it. He got it at that point. So going on to finish this Genesis 25 and 33. And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him. And he sold his birthright unto Jacob. It says, then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. And he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. See, he went his way. See that? Woo! Man. Let me jump here real quick. This is Proverbs in the 3rd chapter. Not Slocky, I'm going to actually jump to 16. This is Proverbs 16. Yep, there is a way, there is a way that seemeth right unto a man. See, there is a way that seemeth right unto a man. What man is that? Esau, so-called white man. But the end thereof are the ways of death. Nigga crazy. He says, say not, man. Sirach 11 and 24. 23 again. Say not what profit is there of my service, and what good things shall I have hereafter. Again, say not, I have enough, and possess many things, and what evil can come to me hereafter. Genesis 25 and 33. And Jacob said, swear to me this day, and he swore unto him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Then Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils, and he did eat and drink, and rose up and went his way. He went his way. Thus Esau despised his birthright. See that? And you're going to go on to say, again, Sirach 11 and 24, again say not, I have enough and possess many things, and what evil can come to me hereafter. Not knowing that you despising that birthright is basically you hating the Lord, man. You see what I'm saying? He hated the Lord. So you talking about what evil can come to you, hereafter. This is that's what he's thinking. Obviously, Proverbs 8 and 36. It says, but he that sinneth, it says, man. But he that sinneth against me wrongeth his own soul. All that hate me love death. See that? Man, I'm going to start at 34. It says, I'm going to start at 33. I'm going to start at 32. It says what? Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children. You see that? The children haven't done neither yet good nor evil. It says, for blessed are they that keep my ways. So all children won't result in being blessed if they don't keep the Lord's ways. Now, what main children did it come down to? Esau and Jacob. Who went on to be blessed? Jacob. Because Esau despised his birthright. It says, blessed is the man that heareth me. And here it go into what? Understanding. Going into what? St. John, the 8th chapter. He said, why can you not understand my speech? Is it not because you cannot hear my word? Paraphrasing. You see what I'm saying? It does show you that hear means understand. And then you go into Revelation, the 1st chapter, the 3rd verse, I believe that is, it tell you, blessed is he that hear and read it, or read it and hear it. And you go into that word hear means understand. So they both knew, you know what I'm saying? The so-called black man and so-called white man always knew, but Jake only understood. You know what I'm saying? Esau didn't understand because he didn't hear. Proverbs 8 and 34. Blessed is the man that heareth me, watching daily at my gates, waiting at the post of my doors. For whoso findeth me, you see, findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord. So Jake was what? Jake was trying to find the Lord. Because how do you find the Lord? You find the Lord by seeking him. According to Jeremiah 29th chapter, I believe that is, in the 13th verse. All right? It says, for whoso findeth me, findeth life, and shall obtain favor of the Lord Yahweh. But he that sinneth against me, wrongeth his own soul. All that hate me love death. See that? And that's what he wanted. He wanted to be carnal. He wanted to be carnal. Because it don't tell you, and I think that's Romans the 8th chapter. If we live to be carnal minded is death. You see what I'm saying? Because he was being carnal minded. You see what I'm saying? Because he was like, he picked food over the Lord, man, over the birthright. Here it is, your father, your father's the chosen man. He serves the way of Yahweh, the way he serves Yahweh, and this dumb dude, he gonna despise it. Like he said, he cast his words behind him. So Esau was carnal minded, man. Going into Romans 8 and 6, it says, I'm gonna actually start and then showing you who they were. because it goes into two things, right? It says, Romans 8:5, for they that are after the flesh, you see, do mind the things of the flesh. So Esau was of the flesh, man. He was created to be fleshly, carnal. That's why he was a man of the field. You know what I'm saying? Like you said. It says, and that's going into the world, and to be world, the people in the world is carnal, man. You see, it says, the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, you see, the things of the spirit. So he was worried about that birthright. He gave up the food he was cooking. He picked something he couldn't see. The birthright. That's why he said, "What good shall this birthright do for me?" Because it wasn't there at the moment. You see what I'm saying? There was no instant gratification. Jake could see far off.
See if I could add it. Esau being constantly out in the field. You know, this is like anybody in the world. You always out and about doing something. You ain't got time to be sitting down focused on.
You caught up.
Yeah, you get caught up in the world. Jake was in the tent, so he had time to, be around. He's
meditating.
Yeah, meditating, etc.
The spirit came to him, broke it down to him. He was all caught up in the world. You will never receive the word of Yahweh Shemel Shah like that. Beautiful point. This is Romans 8 and 5. For they that are after the flesh do mind the things of the flesh, but they that are after the spirit, the things of the spirit. For to be carnally minded is death. But to be spiritually minded is life and peace. You see? Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. So that's why he said he understood who he was, but he knew what was on the line. He just didn't understand it. Because like you say, he's so caught up, man. He was in his goddamn flesh, man. And it made sense for him to say, what good will it do? Because it said you can't, let me read it again. This is Romans 8 and 7, because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, neither indeed can be. He like, what good can this do me? He said, I'm a nigga. You know what I'm saying? Basically, it says, so then they that are in the flesh cannot please God. You see? So he wasn't even set up to be able to go on to ever procure unto him the birthright. Because the birthright entailed what? Serving the Lord, man. You see what I'm saying? Because that was what was in the estate, that was given to that was a part of the estate. Really, that's what Isaac's estate was founded off of, serving the Lord. You know? Period. You got it, bro. Or matter of fact, was I read? Yeah, kind of. That's basically it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Esau, he hated death. Whatever he was last reading, that was where he was at. You know, it just took me to where I was reading.
Come back to the Genesis or Leviticus, a lot here.
Yeah.
Come Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 44. It says, both thy bondmen and thy bondmaids, which thou shalt have, shall be of the heathen that are round about you. Of them shall you buy bondmen and bondmaids.
So all that to learn, realize later. He said, what profit shall I have, man? You would have inherited everything, man. That's why he said in Psalms, the 2nd chapter, ask of me, you know what I'm saying? And I'll shall give you give thee the inheritance, the heathen for thine inheritance. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
It says,
he didn't understand none of that, man. You know, the progenitor of the so-called white race didn't understand that, but he went on to get it later. And now Esau, he's only sitting back listening to what we saying to this day, and they really get it. You see what I'm saying? That's why they go out of our way. They wait to try to get us. They try to direct us where they trying to tell you what to focus on. You know what I'm saying? When they need to be listening to you. But see, that's what they're trying to avoid. Because they understand what they always knew what was on the line, which is what? Rule, birthright, you see what I'm saying? Everything. Power, ruling, and being chosen. You know? You got it, bro.
God. Leviticus chapter 25 and verse 45. It says, moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn.
The children of who? You got to read up a little bit.
It says, moreover, of the children of the strangers that do sojourn among you, of them shall you buy, and of their families that are with you.
And you gotta have a lot of money to buy people. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Go ahead.
Which they begat in your land.
Yep.
And they shall be your possession.
Yep. See, they shall be who?
They shall be your possession.
Who?
And they
Yep. Come on.
shall be your possession.
Shall be your possession. Come on.
And ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children.
And that man said, what profit? Go ahead, bro.
Man, and ye shall take them as an inheritance for your children after you,
So Jake seen all that ahead of time. Go ahead.
to inherit them for a possession,
Man.
that they shall be your bondmen forever.
Man, see, he said, what profit is there of my service? That's crazy, man. Here it is, he just said, he just told you what's the profit of the service. Because he said, you read that verse one more time, they are my servants.
God, this is in Leviticus 25 and verse 42. For they are my servants.
Read up.
It says, for they,
No, read up.
jump on one,
Yeah.
Leviticus 25 and verse 41. And then shall he depart from thee, both he and his children, with him,
Go ahead.
and shall return unto his own family,
Go ahead.
and unto the possession of his father shall he return.
Go ahead.
For they are my servants,
You see?
which I brought forth out of the land of Egypt.
Yep. That's that birthright, possession of his father. Come on.
They shall not be sold as bondmen.
Yep. Going into who? Jake, man. Come on.
Thou shalt not rule over him with rigor.
See? He said, they are my servants. You see what I'm saying? So with them serving the Lord, he's saying this to the servants. That they gonna have bondmen. They gonna own them forever. So that now and that's what was on the line. That's what our forefathers foreseen, man. He's saying that, man, that's crazy, man. The so-called blacks, so-called whites always knew it was on the line, man. Now let's go ahead and prove that about Esau real quick. We jump back to Genesis 25. And they say, yeah, he despised his birthright. Now, the next thing was what? The blessing. See that? So Genesis 27. And he getting ready to what? Because they know, look, and this will make it so heavy, they know he literally come from Isaac. Like, they know that. The so-called white man, he never stopped forgetting we was from Isaac. You see what I'm saying? Us and them was from Isaac. So they're like, yeah, our dad blessed them. You see what I'm saying? They've been fighting over his estate ever since. But we know damn well, you can't fight for something you already done sold. It's not a fight, it's over with. He's been trying to do everything in his damn power, man. Go ahead and jump to 27 and 1.
God. This is Genesis chapter 27, verse 1.
Yeah, and they grown men at this point. Because when you jump to the 34th verse of the previous chapter, it tell you that Esau was 40 years old. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, bro.
God, verse 20, Genesis 27, verse 1. And it came to pass that when Isaac was old and his eyes were dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau his eldest son, and said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here I am.
Yeah, eldest son. The eldest son, not knowing he's a servant already.
Exactly.
He already been given over. Go ahead.
And he said, behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now therefore take, I pray thee, thy weapons.
Yeah, that's it.
God.
All right, you can jump down to verse, to the point. Jump down to, 5, verse 5.
God. Genesis 27 and verse 5. And Rebekah heard when Isaac spake to Esau his son, and Esau went to the field to hunt for venison, and to bring it.
They're all caught up again, see? Go ahead.
And Rebekah spake unto Jacob her son, saying, behold, I heard thy father speak unto Esau thy brother, saying, bring me venison, and make me savory meat, that I may eat, and bless thee before the Lord before my death.
Yeah, see, before Lord Yahweh, before my death, man. See, now, go ahead.
It says, now therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory.
How many?
2.
Come on.
2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father,
Yeah.
such as he loveth. And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee
Yeah.
before his death.
See that? Now jump down to 18.
Fine. Genesis chapter 27 and 18. And he came unto his father and said, my father. And he said, here am I. Who art thou, my son? And Jacob said unto his father,
He said, who art thou, my son? Come on. We got 2. Come on.
and Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat of my venison, that thy soul may bless me.
He wanted to give him a blessing. But Esau, see how it happened. Esau couldn't get the blessing if he wanted to, because he sold his birthright. So the whole estate was over with already. So really, in the spirit, he was Esau. You see what I'm saying? Because the blessing, Slocky, the birthright goes to the firstborn. So for him to sit up here and say now, right, Jacob to say now that I'm Esau, you like, damn, he outright lied. But in the spirit, he is Esau. He's in the stead of Esau. You see what I'm saying? What made Esau him having that birthright was the proof that he was the firstborn. But the firstborn came out as Esau. So, and the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. You see? So however you flip it, the first shall be last. So he was looked at basically as he took the place of Jacob. So the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. And Jacob took the place of Esau. See that? So that's why he said, I'm Esau, man. This nigga gave away what made him who he was. You see what I'm saying? That shit crazy. Which is ultimately the first. You see that? So that's why the first shall be last, man. And the last shall be first. That's heavy. That's why the Lord said that, man. It go all the way back to this. That's what happened. So now you can see how Jacob was able to sit in his father's face and procure a blessing, even though he so-called lied. But he really didn't lie. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, bro.
John.
Yeah, that's spiritual.
Genesis chapter 27 and 19. And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou badest me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat my venison, that thy soul may bless me. And Isaac said unto him, to his son, how is it that thou hast found it so quickly, my son? And he said, because the Lord thy God brought it to me. And Isaac said unto Jacob, come here.
He said, because the Lord, what he say? Because of what?
Because the Lord, Yahweh, thy power,
Yeah, your God. Man.
brought it to me.
See? There it is, man. Come on.
And
That's
Isaac,
true. Come on.
and Isaac said unto Jacob, come near, I pray thee, and I may feel thee, my son, whether thou be my very son Esau or not. And Jacob went near unto Isaac his father, and he felt him, and said, the voice is Jacob's voice, but the hands are the hands of Esau.
See? And that was all spiritual. They changed places due to that birthright, man. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, man. It was like a swap out. See that? It's like the voice Jacob, but he felt like Esau. You know what I'm saying? Basically, Jacob was inside of Esau's stead, man. You see that? That's crazy. Go ahead.
Verse 23.
Because that first body was supposed to got the blessing and the birthright. But he left it. He gave it to Jake. So basically, Jake took over his thing. Go ahead.
And he discerned him not because his hands were heavy as his brother's Esau's hands. So he blessed him. And he said, art thou my very son Esau? And he said, I am. And he said, bring it near to me.
Yeah, that was the first, because the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. The first was Esau. And the first came out all red all over, like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. So he said, yeah, I'm Esau. That's crazy, man. Go ahead.
And he said, bring it near to me,
Yep.
and I will eat of my son's venison, that my soul may bless thee. And he brought it near him. He brought it near to him, and he did eat. And he brought him wine, and he drank. And his father Isaac said unto him, come near now, and kiss me, my
And that
son.
was like what? A sacrifice. You see what I'm saying? That was like a sacrifice almost. You know what I'm saying? An offering. Go ahead.
And his father Isaac said unto him, come near now, and kiss me, my son.
Yep. And then they're showing you what verse you in?
40, I mean, it's like 26.
Yeah, man. That's heavy right there, man. Go ahead. I ain't gonna speak on that. Go ahead.
And he came near and kissed him. And he smelled the smell of his raiment.
You know what? I'm gonna say it. Because he said what? He said, read that verse one more time.
God, Genesis chapter 27, verse 26. And his father Isaac said unto him, come near now and kiss me.
What he said unto him?
And his father Isaac said unto him,
Yep.
come near now and kiss me, my son.
Do what?
Kiss me,
Uh-huh.
my son.
Yep. Up to Psalms 2 real quick. Psalms 2. You know, now let me real quick question. Who said the first shall be last and the last shall be first? You know what I'm saying? Who said that? The Lord, right? Yahweh Shah, right? Now, jump to Psalms 2. I want to say the last verse.
Psalm chapter 2, verse 12.
Or the second verse, second to last. Go ahead.
It says, kiss the son.
Do what?
Kiss the son,
See? Go ahead.
lest he be angry.
And that son is who? Yahweh Shah. See that? So in the spirit, that's Isaac, man. He said, kiss me. But it said, kiss the son.
Kiss the son.
So Isaac was the son. Meaning that was Yahweh Shah, man. Now the only person that can kiss the son is Jake, man. You see what I'm saying? Because kiss go into doing what the Lord says. So he said, love the Lord all their heart. To play on the theme of love. You see what I'm saying? Which Jake is able to do because Jake is you know, like the race, so-called black race, is likened to a commonly delicate woman, man. You see what I'm saying? Like, you better kiss me, you know what I'm saying? And then we know that's true because the bridegroom is Yahweh Shah, and the bride is the nation, is Jake. You see what I'm saying? So he said, kiss the son lest he be angry. See? So you can't make that up. So he said, the first shall be last, and the last shall be first. We'll do a lesson on that. You can jump back.
All right. Genesis chapter 26 and verse 27.
That's why he said that, man. So that affirms it. Go ahead.
Genesis 27 and 26.
Yep.
It says, and his father Isaac said unto him, come near now and kiss me, my son. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment and blessed him. And said, see, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field which the Lord hath blessed. Therefore, God give thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth.
Yeah, that's the smell of the world, man. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, a certain woman.
And plenty of corn
That's it.
and wine.
So he said, therefore, God gives thee the dew of heaven, which is the doctrine. Come on.
God. Therefore, God give thee of the dew of heaven and the fatness of the earth.
Yeah. So therefore, the Most High give thee of the dew of heaven. which is the doctrine, and the what?
And the fatness of the earth.
Everything that the earth has to offer. Because that's why I say in Psalm Isaiah the 60th chapter that, you know, the abundance of the seed shall be converted unto thee. You see what I'm saying? Because fatness goes into what? Abundance. You see, real quick, I'm gonna grab that. It's Isaiah 60. This one, this is Isaiah 60 and 5. It says, I'm gonna start at 1. Arise, shine, for thy light is come, and the glory of the Lord is risen upon thee. You see that? It says, verse 5. Then thou shalt see and flow together. You see that? And that's what he just said. He said what? Yep. Genesis 20, 27 and 27, if you read that again.
It says, and he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment.
And did what?
And he smelled the smell of his raiment.
And did what?
And blessed him.
Come on.
And said, see.
And did what?
And said,
what?
See.
See? There it is. And so you jump back to Isaiah 60 and 5. It says, then thou shalt see. You see? Then shalt thou see. See what? The blessing, man. It says, and flow together, and thine heart shall fear and be enlarged, because the abundance, you see that? The abundance of the sea shall be converted unto thee. The forces of the Gentiles shall come unto thee. The multitudes of camels shall cover thee. The dromedaries of Median and Ephah, all they from Sheba shall come. They shall bring gold and incense going into that field. The smell of that field, meaning the smell of that world, the new world. And they shall shoot forth the praise of the Lord. You see that? So you can read that again, man. That's it.
Mm-hmm. And this is verse 27 of Genesis 27. And he came near and kissed him, and he smelled the smell of his raiment, and blessed him, and said, See, the smell of my son is as the smell of a field.
It's the smell of a field, a new world, man. Come on.
Which the Lord hath blessed.
Which is the world to come. Come on.
Therefore, the Heavenly Father give thee of the dew of heaven.
What's the doctrine?
And the fatness of the earth.
Which is what? Everything, all the heathens, everything they got. Including Esau. Because Esau, he went on to get the fatness of the earth. Just to give it to Jacob. You see what I'm saying? Come on.
And plenty of corn and wine.
It's really been serving us in the spirit the whole time. Because you've been working and digging mines up and all that. Yeah, you've been serving us the whole time in the spirit. Go ahead.
And plenty of corn and wine. Let people serve thee.
Woo! See that? Come on.
Let people serve thee. And nations bow down to thee.
Going into them seas. Come on.
Be Lord over thy brethren.
Man, see? Esau, man. Go ahead.
And let thy mother's sons bow down to thee.
Come on.
Cursed be everyone that curseth thee, and blessed be he that blesseth thee.
So that's it, man. Go ahead. Finish that verse.
Yeah, that was it.
I mean, next one.
Verse 30. And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob, and Jacob was yet.
So that's all that rulership on the line. You see what I'm saying? It always came down to the two knowing. Let's finalize this with Esau. Go ahead.
And it came to pass, as soon as Isaac had made an end of blessing Jacob.
So so-called black race, black man always knew, man. Go ahead.
And Jacob
and understood. Come on.
And Jacob was yet scarce gone out from the presence of Isaac, his father, that Esau, his brother, came in from his hunting.
Yeah, so he ended blessing Jacob, and that's that. Now jump to the point. Start at 33.
Verse 33. And Isaac trembled very exceedingly and said, Who? Where is he that hath taken venison and brought it me? And I have eaten of all before thou camest, and have blessed him. Yea, and he shall be blessed.
Man.
And when Esau heard the words of his father,
he finally got it. Come on.
He cried with a great and exceeding bitter cry, and said unto his father, bless me, even me also my father.
Man.
And he said, thy brother came with subtlety, and have taken away thy blessing.
See that? Man.
And he said,
now this nigga was going a lot. Jake didn't lie. Go ahead. This nigga lied. Come on.
and he said, is not the rightly named Jacob?
Is he not
rightly named Jacob?
Meaning what?
For he hath supplanted me these 2 times.
That's a fucking lie. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
He took away my birthright.
He didn't take away your birthright. You sold it and you despised it. So he just lied.
Go ahead. And behold, now he hath
That's
taken.
why I say when you go to Psalms 58, let me grab that real quick. Psalms 58 and 2. Yeah, in heart, you work wickedness. You work wickedness. You see? Because Jake, in his mind, he wasn't working wickedness. You know, he was worrying about going off the whole time. You know? It says, yeah, ye weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. The wicked are estranged. So because Jake was upright, you know, because his mom telling him to do that. Rebecca was saying, do this. He's like, man, he gonna, what if he curse me? You know? And then that go into how, you know, we are all born of a woman. We are all born in trouble. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, this is Psalms 58 and 2 continue. Yeah, weigh the violence of your hands in the earth. You know, it says the wicked are estranged from the womb. You see, going back to that nigga, man. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. See, that's it. He lied.
Right.
Go ahead.
And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob? For he hath supplanted me these 2 times.
Yep.
He took away my birthright, and behold, now he hath taken away my blessing. And he said, hast thou not reserved the blessing for me? And Isaac answered and said,
Yeah,
unto
most
Esau,
out here, he ordained the whole thing, bro. You got it.
and Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. And with corn and wine have I sustained him.
Yeah, with resources, man.
And what shall I do now unto thee, my son? And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing?
So he started to get it now.
O my father, bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold.
So that was it. So you can start at 41.
Verse 41, it says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing with which his father blessed him.
He finally got it. He finally understood it. So they always knew in antiquity. Go ahead.
And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob.
You see that? So that's that, man. He hated him for the blessing he had got. You know? The so-called white man, so-called black man always knew. You know, going all the way back to Cain and Abel. You see what I'm saying? Because I tell you the thing that has been is that which shall be. You can jump there real quick. Genesis 4, in the 4th chapter. You can start at 1. 4 and actually start at 2.
Genesis chapter 4, verse 2. It says, and she again bare his brother Abel. And Abel,
in fact, start at 1.
Verse 1. It says, and Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived, and bare Cain.
You see? And bear who?
And bare Cain.
Yep.
It said, I have gotten a man from the Lord.
And so he made, that man was shaped how the Lord wanted him. That was the clay. You see what I'm saying? He said he made it to him how he looked. I'm only like the best paraphrasing. Go ahead.
And she again bare his brother Abel.
Yeah, and she again bare his brother Abel. Come on. So coming down to 2. Come on.
And Abel was a keeper of sheep.
They tell you the thing that has been is that which shall be, and there is no new thing under the sun. And then when you go on and read, it tell you the Lord, he required that which is past. You see what I'm saying? So basically, obviously, Esau did something in his past life. Jacob did something in his past life. That's why the Lord, he requires that which is past. Let me grab that scripture really quick. This is Ecclesiastes, in the 4th chapter. You know what? We'll start at 1 and 9. We bring that out real quick. It says, "The thing that has been is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun." See, if it was always about only two, it's going to continuously always be about only two. It says, "Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new, it has been already of old time." You see, you ain't got so-called blacks and so-called whites is going against each other, these two only. You see what I'm saying? For power and rulership and ultimately being chosen. You see that now today with them trying to say they're the chosen people, but now we saying we the chosen people because we know about truth. You see what I'm saying? That ain't new. That's not a new concept, man. That fight we just read about it. You know what I'm saying? Who was chosen? You know, who was chosen? Was it Esau or was it Jacob? Really, it was Jacob the whole time. You see? So look how everything played out. Now they pretending to be us. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? You know, but anyway, this is Ecclesiastes 1 and 11. There is no remembrance of the former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of the things that are to come with those that shall come hereafter. All right? And we're going to get this. It says, 12:2 and 4 and basically the scripture it says what is it? Can you search? The scripture that say require that. Search which is past. That's Psalm 16. Yeah, that's it. That which has been is now. See that? That which has been is now. It says, and that which is to be has already been. You know what I'm saying? And God, the Most High, required that which is past. So you go ahead and jump to that.
This is Genesis chapter 4, in verse 1. And Adam knew Eve, his wife, and she conceived, and bare Cain, and said, I have gotten a man from the Lord. And she again bare his brother, Abel. And Abel was a keeper of the sheep,
Esau playing with the damn stream, and ain't nobody watching. That shit crazy, man. Go ahead, bro.
But Cain,
It say 4 people watching. It say on here, it say 2. It say 2. You say 0?
It says 0, yes.
Just now?
But it obviously
You goddamn devils. Y'all some damn devils, man. We ain't tripping on no views. Go ahead, bro.
And she again bare his brother Abel, and Abel was a keeper of sheep, but Cain was a tiller of the ground.
We don't give a fuck nobody. We're gonna bring it out regardless. This is not what we don't bring it out for views and all that, man. You know, this is what we really do, and we really believe is the truth. So the hell with, you know, y'all views, likes, comments, all that shit, man. Nobody care about none of that. 'Cause that was the Lord, that which is to be is now. You see what I'm saying? As ours, like that which is to be has already been, man. It's gonna be what was written. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bro.
God, verse 3, and in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought up the fruit of the ground and offering unto the Lord.
Hold on, what verse you in? I didn't even hear you.
Verse 3,
32 again.
God, Genesis 4:2, and she again bare his brother Abel.
Yep.
And Abel was a keeper of sheep.
So it's the same thing. See that? Going into, who they are. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
But Cain was a tiller of the ground.
You see? Come on.
And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings
So
of
basically, Abel represented being the man that was responsible for the flock, for guiding, for leading. You see what I'm saying? And Cain, he was responsible for being a fucking servant, man. You see what I'm saying? Working. Go ahead.
time. And in process of this verse 3, and in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord. And Abel,
See? Now how would he do that? Because he knew. You see? It always come down to two. Right? And these two, if you will, this is actually the so-called black man and so-called white man. But this is when the so-called white man had melanin, man. You know? But what he going to do is something the Lord will have to require when he will come back. You see what I'm saying? Because obviously what happened to Esau is something was something the Lord required from his past. See that? And what happened to Esau? He was stripped of his melanin, man. Go ahead, bro.
God, Genesis chapter 4, verse 4. And Abel,
So it come down to, and never knowing what's on the line. Come on.
and Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock and of the fat thereof.
See? Come on, man. Serving of the Lord, man. Power, ruling, and being chosen. Come on.
And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering. But unto Cain and to his offering, he had not respect.
Because what happened was when Cain he put his sacrifice down, right, his offering, and then Abel put his down. But Abel's caught fire because when you go into the Levitical priesthood, pretty much that's how you know when the Lord has accepted the offering, when fire comes upon it. I tell you that in the scriptures, so you ain't gonna get it. You know, so they was able to see you. That would be a sight to see. You know what I'm saying? Supernaturally just catch fire. You know what I'm saying? So that these two men knew what was on the line. This is why they both tried to partake in it. You know what I'm saying? And they fought for it. They both did it. But if you paying attention, it came down to the Lord choose the one. But they both knew what was on the line. You see what I'm saying? And that was what? Power. That's power, being able to see that. Matter of fact, let me grab that real quick. I gotta grab that scripture. Just bear with me just a moment. I'd say it's one person on it. You damn Belgians, man. Let me see something. Brother, if you on here, you remember that scripture, brother, top to bottom. We was talking about during the whole rain, flood thing.
Minor.
Huh?
What you just said.
Yeah.
Trigon and 24.
9:24 what?
Leviticus.
Split kind, yeah, that's one. I don't know if that's exactly what it is, that's one. Shit, it's mine, too. Yeah, kind.
This one, First Kings.
This Leviticus 9:24. Should we read that one more time? That Genesis?
Go ahead.
Oh, sure.
It's Leviticus chapter 9. Genesis chapter 4, verse 3. And in process of time, it came to pass that Cain brought of the fruit of the ground an offering unto the Lord.
Right.
And Abel, he also brought of the firstlings of his flock, and of the fat thereof. And the Lord had respect unto Abel and to his offering.
Yeah, so there it is. So this is how you know, basically meaning what he accepted. He accepted the offering. This is a quick one. This is Leviticus 9 and this is Leviticus 9 and 23. And Moses and Aaron went out into the tabernacle of the congregation and came out and blessed the people, and the glory of the Lord appeared unto all the people. And there came a fire out before the Lord and consumed upon the altar the burnt offering and the fat, which when all the people saw, they shouted and fell on their faces, because that would mean what? That the Lord, he accepted the offering, you know? And he actually tells you that he had to explain that to Moses first. That's the one I was really looking for, but it's all good. We can use that. But that's good. So yeah, you will see fire come down. That's why they got so scared. That's supernatural. That's power. You see what I'm saying? So in that moment, you got Cain looking at, you know what I'm saying, Abel like, you know what I'm saying? Here it is, you got the power. You're able to make fire come from heaven. You see what I'm saying? And I can't. So what happened? Go ahead. And then that represented the Lord choosing him. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead.
Genesis chapter 4 and verse 4.
And who was Abel? He was the second born. Come on.
Verse 5, it says, but unto Cain and to his offering he had no respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted?
And Abel said that, right? Read that part one more time.
Fine. I'm sorry, verse 5, it says, but unto Cain and unto his offering he had not respect. And Cain was very wroth, and his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, and the Lord, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen?
And then this shows you what? That Abel was a so-called black man. He was a so-called black man, because it said he had respect unto Abel's offering, right? Well, the scriptures tell you what? First off, this is Romans 2 and 10 and 11. It says, for there is no respect of persons with God, right? But when you go to this is Exodus 2 and 25. It says, and God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them. See that? And the progenitor of the children of Israel, right, the so-called black race, is Jacob, Isaac. You see what I'm saying? The second born. You know? So that shows you right there. Read 24, it says, and God heard their groaning and God remembered his covenant with Abraham, with Isaac, and with Jacob. And God, the so-called black man, and God looked upon the children of Israel, and God had respect unto them. See? Just like Abel. See that? Go ahead, bro.
Verse 5, but unto Cain and unto his offering he had not respect.
See? Because he wasn't chosen. Because it was the Israelites, who was Jacob, the chosen. Come on.
And Cain was very wroth.
Yep.
And his countenance fell. And the Lord said unto Cain, why art thou wroth? And why is thy countenance fallen?
Go ahead.
If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted. And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. And unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. Okay. Verse 8, and Cain talked.
See, and as a matter of fact, read that again. I can't even. Let me read it. This is Genesis 4. And 6. It says, and the Lord Yahweh said unto Cain, why art thou wroth, and why is thy countenance fallen? If thou doest well, thou shalt not. If thou doest well, shalt thou not be accepted. And if thou doest not well, sin lieth at the door. So he made a bogus offering. You know what I'm saying? It says, and unto thee shall be, you see, sin lieth at the door. It says, and unto thee shall be his desire, and thou shalt rule over him. You see, if you do well. But it says, and Cain talked with Abel, his brother, and it came to pass when they were in the field, it's like that Cain rose up against Abel and his brother and slew him. You see that? And slew him, just like Esau was planning to do in the reincarnation, back, because of the blessing that Jacob had got. Same thing. See? So it always came down to two, being the so-called blacks and so-called whites, and them knowing what was on the line, which was what? Power, rulership, and being chosen. You know? They always knew this, man. The elites know this. Let me just get this and we're gonna wrap up. It says, and the Lord said unto Cain, where is Abel thy brother? And he said, I know not, am I my brother's keeper? See, so he lied, man. He got them lied. As it said, the wicked are estranged from the rule, they go forth as soon as they be born speaking lies, man. So Cain was the wicked, he came back as Esau, which was the wicked. See that? And Jacob, he came back as Abel came back as Jacob, man. You know, who's the good. You know what I'm saying? So you can jump to that Romans 9 when we wrap on what I'm holding right here. Malachi. So yeah, they always knew it was on the line, man. But you people gave it up, and now you got these damn so-called white people now trying to keep. For years they've been trying to keep this under wraps because they know because this is the times we're in, man. You know, it don't come down to nothing else. Real so-called black people, right? The Israelites. You know, ones that's really up on who they are. I'm saying, because obviously all Jake don't know this. You see what I'm saying? All Jake don't know this, man. So he really is the chief, you know? That's why I say all though they be of Israel, all are not of Israel, man. Alright? But the real ones that's up on that's alert, that's always been like who they are, who they supposed to be, and not some, you know, it's like here it is, Lord molded you one way, and then you come back, you know, became some whole other shit. You know what I'm saying? Due to, you know, the elements that's been around. You know? That's these niggas. But the real ones, we know what's on the line right now, man. We know what's on the line. That's what power and rulership and being chosen. You know, it ain't about nothing else. It don't come down to nothing else. We know what's going on. You see that? You saying that with saying it in the beginning with Malcolm X. You see what I'm saying? And these damn crackers, you know, the so-called black man is Jacob, right? Malcolm X, and he, you know, you see, he went on and knew the truth. You know, he didn't know, he didn't understand it. He didn't have the doctrine, but the Lord gave him what He would give him, and he you know, He took him out, He killed him, man. Because they was going off talking about who was Muslim and all that. He realized later. Stuff he was saying as far as reincarnation, no, that's going to be physical reincarnation, you know, but nonetheless, him versus them so-called white people, man. And then further on, he got down the line to one was really Apophypus, man, who was killed by more Israelites who thought they was Muslims. you know? But they was all fighting for what? That power, that rulership, and that being chosen. Because you got the Muslims that claim we the people of the book. So, but they also call black people. You know what I'm saying? So they niggas confused. So that can't be it. We just got to strip that away. Okay, we the people of the book, which makes sense because the people of the book is the ones whoever these people of this book is, which is us, so-called Black, Latinos, and Native American Indians. And you're the only, those are the people, the Israelites. Those are the only people that power, rulership, and being chosen has been considered for. And Esau would just have he was just being a thorn in your side until you get it, man. You know, until we get it. That's what's going down. It ain't about nothing else. They think we care about some goddamn. We don't care about no damn time. We don't give a fuck about no damn views. We don't care if you don't like the language. We don't give a fuck, man. You know. We gonna take the kingdom. All right. We ain't worried about nothing else. All right. So and the elites know that. They ain't worried about these niggas rapping. They ain't worried about these niggas playing ball. They ain't worried about us, man. They're not worried about nothing else. And it's always been like that. We just proved it. And that's why they're targeting us in the news right now, man. You know what I'm saying? They want to kill you, so-called Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. They want to kill you, man. They don't want you to get the damn king. They don't want you to get the king. They literally trying to stop the blessing from happening. You know? So they trying to take out as many Israelites as they can. Basically, they get rid of Jacob, which goes back into the premier scripture, Proverbs 29th chapter. The poor and the deceitful man trying to deceive you. They meet together. Two. And that deceitful man is the rich. Because to tell you that in James, do not the rich man oppress you. Because deceiving somebody is a form of oppression. You know what I'm saying? You trying to tell them they black and they the Israelites, man. They Yasha'Allah, that's oppression. That's deception. You know? You trying to tell everybody you white, you not white, you Esau, man. You Aisha, man. You know? Somehow the deceitful man he's linking up with the poor man. You can deceive everybody, but you don't deceive the poor man. Because this particular poor man is the one that gave up what he could have for what he could gain. And that goes back to what Jacob, with his food he was cooking, man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't say he went on and ate. You know? He suffered not having no meals, man. And we always knew we was in those fields. You see? We was in those fields. We always knew. You know what it would come down. That's why our people had all those hymns, slave songs and stuff. You know, we always knew, man. And then Esau be on the what? Horse looking at us. He ain't want nobody else's damn change, you know? They ain't want no goddamn body else, man. You know? So it always came down to these other people, you fucking China, man, you're not getting no power, man. You so-called Japanese people, you're not getting power. You Hamites, so-called Africans, you're not getting no power. It was never about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It was about 1 and 2. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't even about 2. 2 would just be used to push 1. Right. You know what I'm saying? So there it is, man. You know, it started with us. It's gonna end with us, man. You know, you got that, bro?
Go
ahead.
Like this Romans chapter 9, verse 11. For the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of the Heavenly Father, according to election, might stand, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger. As it is written,
see,
Jacob.
Showing you what? Showing they was, matter of fact, jump to the lump part.
God.
Yep.
Yep. 21. Romans chapter 9 and 21.
Well, just read that real quick then, like that. It's like I'm tripping. Read that 11 again.
Con. Romans chapter 9 and 11. For the children.
Yep, the children, see. Hear my voice, oh ye children. Going into, you know what I'm saying? He already made who was going to hear. Going back to Proverbs, what was that? The 8th chapter. Read that real quick. Proverbs 8 and 32. Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye. See, you forced to listen. You're forced to be subject to my will. You see? Now therefore hearken unto me, O ye children, for blessed are they that keep my ways. So you hearken to the Lord, you're being subject to what he wants. So when he, which is seen in the creation of so-called, the creator of the so-called black and so-called white race. You see what I'm saying? Jacob and Esau, the Israelites and the Edomites, right? From the point of him making us, he said this. You know what I'm saying? Because these children right here. You see, he said, blessed are they that keep my ways. So at that point, he like, I'm making you. He said, hearken unto me. I'm making you be the good, and I'm making you be the evil. You see? And you're going to be blessed because you're going to keep my ways. And you're not. You see? Because you're not. Go ahead. You're meant to be the devil, you know?
Romans chapter 9 and 11. For the children being not yet born.
See? Going back into the clay, man. He said, before I formed, he told Jeremiah, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. You know what I'm saying? You got it.
Verse 11, Romans 9. It says, for the children being not yet born, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of God, according to election, might stand. Not of works, but of him that calleth.
Yep. What he made from just what he made you to be. Because it really ain't in your works. He made you to do that. You know what I'm saying? And your work don't only be what he made set you up to do. Go ahead.
Go back to the Tuesday lesson.
What?
The Lord did it, you know what I'm saying? Sent them up to do so.
Yeah. Like he's trying to say, what mean ye to be, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's the secret. Come on.
Verse 21. On Romans 9 it says, had not the potter power over the clay?
Man, see? Well,
of the same lump?
Of the same what?
Of the same lump.
Matter of fact, because it tell you, he said, what then? Matter of fact, you got to read that next verse. After 11. It's written.
Romans chapter 9 and verse 12. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger.
So that's why she did what she did with Jacob.
She inquired.
Yep. Just like, Mary, how was shot. Come on.
As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated.
So she feared, she got that fear, man. She's like, nah, you gotta get this blessing, man. Go ahead.
Verse 14, it says, what shall we say then?
You know what's so heavy about it? You think Isaac loved Esau, but he didn't. Because it said his eyes were dim. You know what I'm saying? He couldn't understand or see. You know what I'm saying? Like, but she could.
Exactly.
That's why his eyes were physically made dim. Because when you go into spiritually, when you go into it, the Lord, once again, going to Isaac. He quoted Isaiah when he said their eyes are dim. You see what I'm saying? Meaning that they can see, but they can't see. You know what I'm saying? That this shit ain't right. You're not right. Things not right. This is what's supposed to be. Isaac couldn't see it. You know?
It said that Isaac loved Jacob, not Jacob, but Isaac loved Esau,
right? Because
of the venison.
Yeah, he couldn't see. He didn't have eyes to see necessarily. You know, the eyes were dim. Seeing, he couldn't perceive. That's why he couldn't see him. You know what I'm saying? He can hear.
Right.
You know, so that's deep, man. But you got it.
Come on, Romans chapter 9 and 14. It says, what shall we say then? Is there unrighteousness with God?
Yeah. See?
God forbid. God, verse 21. It says, have not the potter power over the clay?
Yeah, see? Now I'm always on the quote there. Maybe he made me do it. Go ahead.
Have not the potter power over the clay? Of the same lump.
See?
Of the same lump.
And power being what? He always made, you so-called white people always knew it was on the line. You so-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians, you so-called blacks, you always knew it was on the line, man. You see what I'm saying? Always. And I'm telling you how you so-called Latinos and Native American Indians and so-called black people, because one, you know that, but two, Yahweh Shai, right? He Isaac. See if I can get this right. And when you go into, you know what I'm saying, really to truly be an Israelite, you gotta be born through Yahweh Shai. That's not just spiritually, that's physically. Now, what is Yahweh Shai? These are the tribe of Judah, so-called blacks, right? So all the tribes are said to come through Yahweh Shai. How do we know that? Because when you go to Isaiah 48, you know what I'm saying, in the first chapter, and you go into that word waters, you go into that word waters, the word, the meaning there is semen, man. You know what I'm saying? It's literal physical semen. See that? So it makes sense that people, you would be born through your Yahweh Shai, not spiritually but physically too. And the physical part is going to be through basically us getting new bodies off of him, through him. You see what I'm saying? But going back, right? He really gave birth to all the tribes anyway, physically, semen. Because why? He was Isaac. See that? And he is a so-called black man. And you are what your father is why he's called a father. You see what I'm saying? So you all so-called black people, man. So it only comes down to so-called blacks and so-called whites. So that's it, man. You got it, bro.
Romans chapter 9 and 21. Hath not the potter power over the clay of the same lump to make one vessel unto honor and another unto dishonor?
And then let me speak to that too real quick. And you so-called blacks, you really the so-called white people. And the so-called white people really the so-called black people by definition. You see what I'm saying? Because y'all the dirty dark ones, man, with no light. We're the pure ones that's going to be made white. You know what I'm saying? We're the saints going to put on white. So-called black people going to put on white. And we know that's true. That's really how the order should be, because you turn everything upside down. You see what I'm saying? So you really the so-called black people by definition. You see what I'm saying? We're the so-called white people by definition. You know? Not by race and nationality, by definition. You know what I'm saying? You got it.
Verse 22, it says, what if?
And they know that. Go ahead.
What if God, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath?
Yeah, the vessels of just letting y'all do, change everything and just act like y'all good. And, you know what I'm saying? And put up a fake fight. You know? Because that's what's on the line. Go ahead.
Fitted to destruction.
Yep. You made to be destroyed, man. Go ahead.
And that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy.
See, and that's the tape, so-called blacks. You know, we're going to get glory. Because why we need mercy? Because Esau will go on to venture out to try to continuously slay his brother. Why? For that blessing, a.k.a. what's on the line. That power, man. That rulership. You see what I'm saying? They look at us in these different industries we go into and they scared of us, man. The so-called white people, the ones that really know what's going on, you see what I'm saying? Know what's on the line. They always knew. You know what I'm saying? And they said the thing that has been is now, man. You see what I'm saying? So that's facts. So that's that. You can finish the verse and then that'll be it.
It says, and that he might make known the riches of his glory on the vessels of mercy, which he had afore prepared unto glory.
Yep, and I'm going to get something to back it up real quick. Yeah, before you was put in the womb, before we did any works, like he said. This is Jeremiah 9. He said he's going to make known his riches, right? So this is Jeremiah 9 and 23. It says, thus saith the Lord, let not the wise man glory in his wisdom. You see, there's two wisdoms. It's two wise men. You know? It says, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh, let not the wise man glory in in his wisdom, neither let the mighty man glory in his might. Let not the rich man glory in his riches, but let him glory in this, that he understandeth and knoweth me. Knowing what? That we're what's really on the line, and we're going to really rule. And what's on the line is only for those that know and understand. And that's what so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians, so-called blacks and Israelites, man. All right? Because we're getting ready to, power is given to us, man. You see what I'm saying? And rulership. These people have been turned over to us, man. And it's playing out right before your eyes, man. Right before our eyes. You know, and we're the chosen. So it says, I am the Lord, that I am the Lord Yahweh, which exercises loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness in the earth. And that's only right, you see, for us to rule, man, over our oppressors at that. It says, for in these things I delight, says the Lord. You see that? So that's that. Did you finish? This is Malachi 3. And I'm going to start at 12. And all nations shall call you blessed. See, shall call you blessed. You know, because that too is going to be X'd out according to this. This is Revelation. This is give me the scripture. I got it. Revelation 22:13. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. 2 is marked out, man. You know what I'm saying? And who's the first? Well, the first, how it go? The first shall be last, and the last shall be first. So the first is the last, man. Who came on last? Jacob, man. Who's last? Who's at the bottom right now? Jacob, so-called blacks. You see what I'm saying? So we're number 1, man. You know? Ain't no more 2. You know? 2, nobody remember. 2 is not a winner, and 3, nobody remembers. Nelly had this song like that. One, what does it take to be number 1? You know? He said, I am number 1. You know? 2 is not a winner, and 3, nobody remembers, man. Nobody don't even know who 3 is. You know what I'm saying? And 2, you ain't win, so you're out of there, man. You know? So what does it take for the Lord to choose you and you to be an Israelite and to know and understand these things, man? You know? That's it. And that's what so-called black Latinos and Native American Indians, so-called blacks and so-called white people know is on the line. That's why I was sitting there looking at Malcolm X like that. You know, that great awakening. Anyway, Malachi 3:12. And all nations shall call you blessed, for ye shall be a delightsome land, saith the Lord of hosts. Oh, and that first and last scripture is able to be brought out because Yahushua is the Israelite, man. That's the Lord that said that. Guess what? So-called black man. All the tribes said, come back through. That's the only way they will be deemed Israelites. If you come through him, man. You got to be born again, man. See that? Spiritually and physically. It says, Malachi 4:13. Your words have been stout against me, said the Lord. Yet he said, what have we spoken so much against thee? Yet ye have said it is vain. Ye have said it is vain to serve God. Woo! It says, what profit is that we have, and what profit is it that we have kept this ordinance, and that we have walked mournfully before the Lord of hosts? You see that? What's the profit? This is Isaiah 61. We'll close out on this. You know, so yeah, you had to suffer. Jake had to, miss out on some meals. See that? For some, for that faith, man. You know? So this is Isaiah 61. Yeah, kind of. We read that again. This is Malachi 3:14. ye have said it is vain to serve God. Esau said that. We said it too. And what profit is it that we have kept this ordinance? What's the profit of this, man? And that we have walked mournfully, that we have walked mournfully before the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shemel Shah of hosts. Isaiah 61:1. The Spirit of the Lord God Yahweh Ba'Shemel Shah is upon me, because the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shemel Shah hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He has sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound, to proclaim the acceptable year of the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shemel Shah, and the day of vengeance of our God, our power, to comfort all that mourn. You see? So that's the point of why we walk mournfully, man. So we can be comforted, man. You see? To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion. You see? So-called black race, man. We the ones mourning, man. Because we're last. We're the last going to be first. It says, to give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning. See, the oil of joy for mourning. You see, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness, the planting of the Lord Yahweh. Because Yahweh Shah said, all that which my father have not planted shall be plucked up. You see, so if you mourning and you an Israelite, hey man, you ain't gonna be plucked up, man. You're gonna dwell forever. It says that he might be glorified. You see that? So, and they shall build the old wastes, they shall raise up the former desolation, and they shall repair the waste cities, the desolation of many generations. And strangers shall stand and feed your flocks. Shall stand. They're going to stand up, man, all these other people. What about the rule, man? That's the point of why you serve the Lord and walk mournfully before him. It says, and strangers shall stand and feed your flocks, and the sons of the alien shall be your plowmen, the real alien. Lord don't know these people. You see, and your vine dressers. But ye shall be named the priests of the Lord. Men shall call you the ministers, you see, of our God. Ye shall eat the riches of the Gentiles, and in their glory shall ye boast yourselves, man. Man, for your shame ye shall have double, and for confusion they shall rejoice in their portion. Therefore in their land shall they possess the double. Everlasting joy shall be unto them. See that? So yeah, man. About to double unto these motherfuckers, double. And hey, cup finna be passed, man. It's passing right now. You got anything? Alright, so we gonna go ahead, go south. So like I said, man, this is on the line. Power. And we always knew it was on the line. It always came down to Esau and Jacob. That which has been is now. You see what I'm saying? Don't be the only ones that know or even possibly consider. And it ultimately ended up with Jacob, so-called blacks. For what? For world domination, power, world rulership, and being chosen. Jacob, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native American Indians. Alright? Israelites. The Lord was the edifying closes out. Give our honor, praise, and glory to the Heavenly Father, and His Son. Yahweh, Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah, Wahakada Shakah. Why Yahweh Ba'Shem, Shah, for the Holy Spirit. And hey, the so-called white people, you know it, man. You want to see it, you believe it. Alright? Death to America. So long.